I'd like to welcome you to the Town of Denmark's Town Hall. Thank you for coming. My name is Scott Doyle. It's spelled S-C-O-T-T-D-O-Y-L-E. I'm the supervisor for the town. With me is, to my left, is Fred Bodsworth, and to my right is Frank Fazio and Peter Jones, their councilman. Darlene Rawson is a little tardy tonight. We gather here today to recognize some individuals who acted with courage and bravery a few weeks ago. On May 12, 2024, a structure fire on Deer River Road was reported to Lewis County 911. At 9:41, 911 dispatchers notified law enforcement and West Carthage volunteer firefighters of a structure fire with entrapment. Throughout the evening, West Carthage Fire Chief Peter Crump Jr. requested mutual aid from 10 departments across Lewis and Jefferson County to the scene. 2 other departments either stood by or answered calls for departments that were busy here in Denmark. More than 109 firefighters from those 10 departments were here and answered the alarm. More than a dozen EMS personnel from Lewis County Search and Rescue and Carthage Area Rescue were on the scene as well. Denmark residents Dustin Groff and Jim Hancock were present. Lewis County Sheriff's Deputies John Northrop and Sarah Taylor, New York State Trooper Luke Evans, West Carthage Fire Chief Peter Crump Jr., and Firefighter Dick Murphy, Beaver Falls Assistant Fire Chief Tim McLean, Mackenzie McLean were also on scene. These folks all arrived on scene before a fire apparatus was there. This was 9:50 at night, and they're running around looking for ladders in pitch black and smoke. These individuals that appeared made a difference that evening. Within minutes, an old ladder, I would guess that's a foot wide, maybe 20 feet tall, was located and hoisted to a second-story window. A second aluminum ladder was located minutes later, and several individuals supported each of the ladders, while others were instrumental in finding and rescuing 2 individuals from an upstairs bedroom. It's with great gratitude that the Town of Denmark Board thanks these brave individuals for their courage they displayed that evening. No doubt their involvement made a difference in the outcome of this call. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to do this tonight. And if I skip somebody, I apologize. We'd also like to thank the firefighters, all the firefighters from West Carthage, Carthage, Rutland, Black River, Natural Bridge, Lowville, Great Bend, Fort Drum, Beaver Falls. Calcium firefighters who stood by at Carthage and West Carthage, New Bremen Fire Department who answered calls for Lowville, while Lowville firefighters were here in Denmark. We'd also like to thank Carthage Area Rescue, Lewis County Search and Rescue, LifeNet, Carthage Area Hospital, Lewis County 911, and I can't one recognize the West Carthage Fire Department's auxiliaries here providing valuable services that night. So, also I neglected to mention Castellan, I apologize. So that's kind of where we're at. We'd like to pass out plaques to each of these individuals, and then Chief Peter Crump and law enforcement officials that were on scene will take questions if you'd like them to.
It's better, Pete.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Here you go. John. Thank you. I saved this one for last because it's probably the guy I'm closest to. Thank you, Chief. With that, are there any questions for anyone up front?
Could the fire chief just kind of walk us through a little bit about how things unfolded that evening? Like, you know, what's it like when you guys first arrive on scene, and how much are you depending on training versus, just instincts kicking in?
It's chaos at first, but without the support of what we had here, and Mr. Groff, he really deserves a lot more than we do. What he did and what he was willing to do as just a citizen with no training, no anything, shows you the human nature of instinct to help somebody. I think the rest of us would say we just did what we're trained to do. And that's why we serve. We're here to help people.
And when you got on scene, did you know how many people possibly were entrapped inside, or is that kind of do you have to send people in to kind of clear the building because it was unknown how many people were
That
inside?
night we had a report of 3 entrapped in the structure. Sometimes it's not known, but we did that night.
And thanks to the help of everyone up there, it should be known everyone made it out safely. There were some injuries, but at this point, everyone is doing
Yes, we were
okay.
able to get everybody out and get them to the proper medical facilities and treatment that they needed.
I don't have these guys' microphones, so I don't know if their answers at this point will make it onto my camera. I didn't know if anyone was staying after for a couple minutes and wouldn't mind maybe walking out in the hallway and answering a few questions.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have any more, but essentially my audio isn't going to pick up much of what they say. Not to put you on the spot.
No, I mean, if anybody up there has anything to, we're going to air the entire press conference. So if anybody has anything they want to add, or would like to just give their feelings on how things went that evening. I know the law enforcement officers were on scene before the fire departments arrived.
Yes, we were.
Can you kind of explain how that works when you arrive to a scene and the fire officials aren't there yet?
When the call came out, we were 12, and Harrisburg, so we weren't that far away. Once we got to the hill, we could see the house was fully engulfed. We got that out over the radio, and Trooper Evans picked that up right away and made that call out. And then there was already a couple people on scene and started looking for things to assist, to help out any way we can. And once the firefighters showed up, and then there was a massive amount of people there to assist in any way that they could. And it was amazing in terms of how many actually showed up and to help out, and luckily that everybody got out safe, and it really shows the value of this community in terms of lending a helping hand when people need it. And it was amazing to see.
Thank you.
I will ask one question. Obviously, the town supervisor said that he doesn't do this very often, and the town doesn't, do something like this very often. There's so many of you. Anyone want to talk a little bit about what this, means to be recognized like this by the town?
I don't think any one of us here really thought of the recognition standpoint. Just speaking from my 25 and a half years as an active volunteer fireman, it's what we signed up to do. Again, I turn it over to this young man right here. He went over and above. He didn't think anything of his own safety. The law enforcement, they don't have the protective equipment necessarily that firemen do. We had turnout gear, myself and Dick Murphy. We did what we had to do, minus a few things that we probably should have had, but somebody's life's at stake, so you do what we got to do. But again, this young man and these folks, they don't have that protective equipment, and I don't know if I would go to a situation with a cop and go in first and they didn't think anything of it to do what they needed to do. So commend them fully from our department.
And can the young gentleman just Can you tell us how you were able to get to the scene so quickly? Like, how were you aware of the fire? Did you see it? Do you
I was
live
essentially a
nearby?
passerby. I stopped and a gentleman come out to the road and I seen the fire and I asked him if there was anybody inside and he said that there was 2 people still entrapped, and I basically started looking for a ladder at that point, and it happened really fast. I wasn't expecting any recognition, but I'm glad everybody's safe.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a volunteer firefighter?
I'm not.
You were just a passerby, just a neighbor who,
yeah.
wow.
So how did you find a ladder at that residence, or
I
did you have
was
to?
able to go to one of the barns and there was an old wooden ladder that I managed to get across the yard and up to the window, and we were able to get them out.
Pretty good.
Yes, it did.
Well, with that, we'd like to thank you